A call that changed everything. Life can change in a single moment. 1 second, everything seems normal, then bam, everything turns upside down, and that's exactly what happened to me. My name's Jake Carter. I'm 28 years old, and I've been working as a waiter in high-end restaurants for years. It's not the most glamorous job, but I liked it. I liked meeting people, hearing their stories, being a small part of their lives, even for just an hour. Some came in for first dates, some sat alone, lost in thought. But nothing, and I mean nothing, could have prepared me for what happened that night. It started like any other shift. I was working at Regal Dining, a fancy restaurant inside a luxury hotel. It was packed. The kitchen was buzzing, and the wait staff was running around like crazy, making sure everything was perfect. Just another night. Then, I walked up to that table, and that's when everything changed. A quiet kid and a simple question. Sitting there at a corner table was someone who stood out, not because he was loud or demanding, but because he was the opposite. Baron Trump, the son of the president. He sat quietly, staring at his untouched plate. His bodyguards stood nearby, keeping their eyes on the room. Everyone in the restaurant knew who he was, but nobody dared to approach him. I hesitated for a second before stepping forward. Something about the way he sat there, alone despite the crowd, just didn't feel right. I kept my voice low and professional. "Everything all right, sir? Can I get you anything?" Baron looked up, his blue eyes tired. He hesitated, then spoke in a quiet voice. "Could I get some water?" It was a simple request, but the way he said it, like he wasn't sure if he was allowed to ask, bothered me. I nodded, grabbed a bottle of water from the bar, and placed it in front of him. That should have been the end of it, but it wasn't. Wrong move, wrong person. Barely a minute later, my manager, Mr. Peterson, stormed toward me. His face was red, his fists clenched. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" he hissed. I blinked, confused. He asked for water. Peterson's eyes burned with fury. "You don't just go up to a VIP guest. Do you have any idea who that is? You don't speak unless spoken to. You broke protocol." My stomach dropped. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "Sir, I was just doing my job." "You're done here, Jake. Pack your things. You're fired." The words hit me like a punch to the gut. "Wait, what? You're firing me for giving a kid water?" But Peterson wasn't listening. Just like that, I was out. 1 second, I had a job. The next, I was nobody. The unexpected call. The next morning, I woke up in a daze. I was unemployed. Rent was due in 2 weeks. My whole future felt like it had been ripped out from under me, all over a damn glass of water. And then, my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something told me to pick up. "Hello?" A familiar voice filled my ear. Deep, steady, unmistakable. "Jake, this is Donald Trump." I nearly dropped my phone. Wait, what? The former president was calling me? Trump didn't wait for me to recover. "I heard about what happened last night. Baron told me everything. First of all, I want to say thank you." I swallowed hard. "Sir, I just did what any decent person would do." Trump's voice was firm. "That's exactly why I'm calling. What happened to you was wrong, and trust me, it won't last long." My heart started racing. I don't understand." Trump chuckled. "Jake, do you want your job back, or do you want something better?" My mind was spinning. Yeah, of course, but how?" Trump cut me off. "I need someone like you, someone who cares about people. How'd you like to work at Mar-a-Lago as a guest relations manager?" I was speechless. One night, I was fired. The next, the president was offering me a job in his own resort. It didn't even feel real. Are you serious?" Trump laughed. "Dead serious, kid. You in?" I let out a shaky breath. Yes, sir." "Good," Trump said. "I'll see you soon." And just like that, a single phone call had changed my life. A call that changed everything. The interview life has a funny way of flipping upside down when you least expect it. 1 second, you're coasting along, and the next, bam, everything shifts. That's exactly what happened to me. One night, I was just a regular guy working as a waiter at a fancy restaurant. The next, I was fired over something as simple as giving a kid a glass of water. That kid, Baron Trump. And then, just when I thought my life was falling apart, my phone rang. It was Donald Trump. Yeah, the Donald Trump. And he had a job offer for me. So now, here I am, standing in the lobby of one of the most luxurious hotels I've ever set foot in, about to have an interview for a position I never in my wildest dreams thought I'd be up for. Guest relations manager at Mar-a-Lago. A new door opens. I straightened my tie, took a deep breath, and walked into the lobby. The place was impeccable. Marble floors, golden chandeliers, staff moving in perfect sync. I felt out of place. I wasn't some rich businessman. I was just a guy who had spent years balancing trays and refilling drinks. And now I was about to sit down with one of Donald Trump's top advisors. As I waited, a tall, sharp-dressed man in his 50s walked in. Dark navy suit, silver-streaked hair, the kind of guy who looked like he ran things. He stopped in front of me. "You must be Jake Carter." I stood up quickly, shaking his hand. "Yes, sir, that's me. I'm Jonathan Reeves, one of Mr. Trump's senior advisors. Let's talk." The test, we sat down in a private lounge and Reeves wasted no time. "So, Jake, tell me what happened that night." I swallowed hard. Well, I was just doing my job. Barron asked for a glass of water and I gave it to him. That's it. Reeves nodded, listening. "And your manager fired you for that?" I let out a dry chuckle. Apparently, I broke protocol. Reeves leaned back, tapping his fingers on the table. "Tell me something, Jake. Why do you think you're here?" I hesitated. "Because Mr. Trump wanted to help me out." Reeves shook his head. "No, you're here because you did the right thing when nobody was watching." That caught me off guard. Reeves continued, "Trump doesn't just hire people based on a resume. He hires people he can trust. People who do the right thing, not because someone's watching, but because it's who they are." I let that sink in, then he hit me with one last question. "If we gave you this job, Jake, what would you bring to the table?" I thought about that for a moment. I've spent years serving people, listening, observing, understanding what they need before they even ask. I believe everyone deserves respect, whether they're a billionaire or just a guy grabbing a coffee. If I take this job, I'll make sure everyone who walks through those doors feels like they matter. Reeves studied me for a second, then he smiled. "I can see why Trump likes you. A life-changing decision." He closed the folder in front of him and leaned forward. "Welcome to the team, Jake." I blinked. "Seriously?" He smirked. "Trump already made his decision. I just needed to make sure you were the right fit." I was speechless. Just a week ago, I was being kicked to the curb for doing something decent. Now, I had a job at one of Trump's most prestigious properties, a familiar face. A few weeks later, I was officially working at Mar-a-Lago. I'd traded in my apron for a suit, and instead of serving tables, I was handling VIP guest relations. And then, on my second day, I saw him, Barron Trump. He walked into the lobby, 2 security guards at his side, tall, quiet, and observant, just like that night at the restaurant. He glanced around, then his eyes landed on me. He paused. For a second, neither of us said anything. Then he smiled. "Hey, Jake." I nodded. "Hey, Mr. Trump." His smile widened just a little. "I'm glad you're here." I chuckled. "Me too." And then as he turned to leave, he looked back once more and said something I wasn't expecting. "Thanks for that night." I shook my head. It was nothing. But we both knew that wasn't true, because sometimes the smallest acts of kindness can change someone's world. And for me, one simple glass of water changed my life forever.
Hey there, welcome to the Fame Diaries family. Want to be part of this journey? It's easy. Just do these 3 simple things. Hit that subscribe button, because this isn't just a channel you watch. It's a story you become a part of. Smash that like button to show your support and help us keep creating powerful stories. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you never miss a single moment of inspiration. Without you, these stories are incomplete. So let's grow together, explore together, and be inspired together. Ready? Then go for it. Join Fame Diaries now and become part of something unforgettable.